Hi, Gary Palmer here with the Fish is Good show. Well, for this episode, Julie and I attended the Sacramento Boat Show. We were looking for interesting people to talk to about fishing, then interview them, and that's what we've done, and hope you enjoy. Here you go. Okay, we're at the Sacramento Boat Show talking with Kevin Brock. He's a fishing guide. And Kevin, tell us what you do.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. I fish. I fish and then I fish a little bit more. Okay. It's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it, so we might as well do it. This is our 17th year doing this now, full time. Awesome. That's all I've ever done. So follow your dreams and keep on fishing. That's what I say.
I believe
so it's been a good thing.
So what do you fish for?
Well, we start our year off. Oh, here's the whole year. Here we go. Okay. We just got back from steelhead season on Northern California, so we're on the Smith River, Oregon. So my hands are all callous from rowing boats, all rowing drift boats. So we catch big steelhead up there. We fish there through mid-March, right about now to mid-March. April into May, we're striper fishing, includes Delta, areas like that. Okay, then we go into June. We start trout fishing up in Sacramento River. You heard of the Sundial Bridge?
Absolutely.
Up and ready?
Oh, yeah,
I catch beautiful big rainbows like that right underneath the Sundial Bridge. 30 to 50 fish a day. It's world class. No one even knows about it. And half the time I'm the only one out there. So boom, then it started to get really hot. I jet up to Alaska. So I hang out up in Alaska for a whole month in July on the Kenai Peninsula. We fish for the monster kings, the biggest kings in the world, the hugest sockeye runs ever, up to 1 million sockeyes. And then we get halibut and everything else all mixed in between. So that's awesome. Then the Sacramento Valley, because the king salmon are back in action now, finally getting them back. August 1st, I'm back here. Fish the king salmon from anywhere from Chico all the way up into Red Bluff until about Halloween Day. Then we jet back down to the Delta, start trolling for stripers in November and December. Honestly, I really don't even know where I'm at. Hopefully I kill a few ducks and I just try to pull myself back together to start the year over again.
Oh my goodness.
So that's my year. That's what I do. So people say, where do you live? I said, where the water is, where the fish are biting. So
you're living your dream.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I remember I was in high school. I'm in my junior year, and I'm telling my counselor, hey, I want to be a fishing guide. I just love to fish, and he looks at me and he says, Kevin, one day you're going to have to grow up, and you just can't fish and hunt forever. And he still fishes with me today, so I'm not growing up. So all that says is just follow your dream. You can do it if you a lot of hard work. Don't get me wrong; it's been a long road, but do what you love, and you'll be all right.
Awesome. Yeah. Tell me your most memorable fishing story.
Probably the most.
You probably have hundreds,
I've got thousands of them. I've got ball players. I've got rock stars. We've got people that came on the boat that we weren't even supposed to mention their names. Things like that.
Wow.
Probably the most memorable, the most touching. I fished a little gentleman named Ryan Neese. He's 9 years old. He's not with us anymore. And it was through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of emotions there. Had a great time with him. Caught lots of fish. He got a fish mounted. He got an interview on the radio with me. He got the full Kevin Brock royal treatment.
Awesome.
We took his fish that we caught to the restaurant. They cooked him for him. We hung out. He hung out with me for 2 days. Me and Maggie. We caught all kinds of fish. Had a great time.
So awesome.
So that is probably the most touching and memorable one that I can remember. But throughout my whole life, I've taken hundreds of thousands of pictures. Hundreds of thousands, and I've never seen anybody frown when they were holding a fish. So
isn't that true?
So it's pretty cool. So what you build is a rapport with Dad, and then you build a rapport with Son, and then all of a sudden now you've got 3 generations on your boat, and they trust you. We're a family-friendly boat, 100%. So I've got women that go along, kids that go along, families that go along, big corporate accounts. We do it all. So it's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So yeah, it makes me feel good. But Ryan was the biggest one. That's why I'm growing my hair out. I cut my hair for Locks of Love every 2 years.
Oh really?
So yeah, so they do that for the cancer kids. So we're almost on to his anniversary is like May 9th. So I'll have it chopped on May 9th. So that's why we grow it out. So yeah, he's a cool. Like I said, he's in a better place, and he was a great fisherman.
Yeah.
And so hopefully he saves a couple for me when I get there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's the most memorable one.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
No, thank you very much.
Keep fishing.
So yeah, no doubt. Live the dream. We got to do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're going to talk to Fred Mason with Driven. Okay, so this is a tuna trip that he does down out of San Diego going heading towards Mexico.
We head south about 1,000 miles south into Mexico, and this was from an island called Clarion Island. We fish a buffer zone over there where it's about 4 miles from the island. and we target these schools of yellowfin tuna, and we get them we target them over 200 pounds. But on that trip, I got 15 of them. They were between 100 pounds and 220 pounds.
Holy mackerel.
So it was a 12-day trip where you head down for fish the island for about
so is that like
5 days.
Wicked Tuna? You've seen the show Wicked Tuna?
Yeah, they're not
like that?
they're not quite as big as those because they're bluefin, on the East Coast there, but they're big enough. You're standing up and with a rod and reel. You have no chair or anything, and you fight these tuna. And it's just a really nice experience.
That is awesome.
I love tuna fishing.
Yeah, that is cool.
I've been doing it now for about 25 years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Gary Palmer, and we're at the Sacramento Boat Show, and we're talking to Rick Kennedy.
Yeah, I've been guiding for about 16 years now. I spent most of my time up in the high country, high elevation lakes, fishing for like Lake Tahoe, Eagle Lake, that stuff, fishing for lake trout, brown trout, rainbow trout, kokanee. At the same time, when I first started, I used to fish the rivers down here a lot, the Sacramento, the Feather River, a little bit on the American. And a couple years ago, I decided to come back, start fishing the rivers, and I'm running a Rogue Jet 22-foot fast water right now, which has the windshield model and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Very versatile boat. I can get all the stuff I need done up in the hills. I can close it when it's cold like this outside and make it warm. But it's not the ideal boat for me for guiding on the rivers when I'm trying to boondoggle and side drift, that kind of thing.
Sure, yeah.
So I just recently, 2 weeks ago, I was up at the factory in Medford, and I had, they just finished this exact boat, and myself and Mike Corbett, one of the guys at the shop, took this out on the Rogue River and ran it, and I just absolutely fell in love with the thing.
Awesome.
And so the way it handled and performed for me, so I 2 days later I ordered one. So I have a 23-footer on order right now. Yeah,
that's exciting.
And we're going to spend more time on the Sacramento and Feather Rivers chasing salmon and steelhead and stripers and everything else this year.
Awesome. So, how long have you been fishing?
I've been fishing all my life, but I've been basically guiding for 16 years.
Awesome. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what do you love most about fishing?
Just being outside, being around people, just being out. I'm not sitting in an office.
Awesome.
The outdoors is this is my office right here.
That's cool. What an office. Cool. Hey, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're at the California Boat Show, and we're talking to Mark Kalinoski, and he's going to tell us about what he does and what he's involved in with fishing.
Well, I'm with the California Inland Fisheries Foundation, and what we do is we help proliferate kokanee, sockeye salmon, landlocked sockeye salmon, and several other features or species back into the waters. Basically, what we're doing is we're a nonprofit organization committed to raising funds to keep fish in the water for people, for futures. And we started strictly as kokanee back in 1992 and broadened our horizons into salmon and trout and whatever it takes, wherever it's needed. We'll fund a lot of worthwhile projects and look to try to raise money for that. And everybody's volunteer, none of us gets paid. And we're a very dedicated group, growing by the year.
Awesome.
As you know, the budget crisis for all of our government agencies are quite tight, I guess you could call it. And that's what we do, is we help them fund the necessary projects to keep people fishing, mostly inland.
That's great. Wow,
but also offshore for salmon and everything else, because they come inland.
Awesome, we love that.
That's what we do.
So you were telling us, too, we were talking about some experience you had with the Coast Guard, with Navy.
The Coast Guard. Coast Guard tends to like to always be on the top end of the technology. For instance, the craft that will roll in the surf when they're doing rescues and such.
Yeah.
Since that technology, of course, jet skis and everything else have kind of taken that over for them, where they don't really need to roll anything in the surf because they have their rescue craft and everything else. But if in fact their mothership was close, they could handle it. The necessity started up at and everybody knows the bar outside the Columbia bar, and that's where the technology kind of was bred. I did years ago as far as some of the engineering design of vessels that could handle that. So it was fun. A lot
of experience in the water. So
tell us your most memorable fishing experience.
Oh,
You probably had lots, haven't you?
the best one was inland fly fishing, but I was out fly fishing with a friend, and we were out at the Farallon Islands, and we had heavy line and everything else. And what we were fishing for was, he said that the rockfish would come up, surface, and bite, and I disagreed with him and everything else, but I found out he was right. But we hooked into a shark.
Oh my goodness!
A great white.
Oh my goodness!
The great white was after a seal. The seal had taken the line. So here we had the shark and the seal and everything else, and the seal was being thrown all over the place, and that was my most memorable fishing adventure.
Oh my goodness!
Needless to say, I didn't mind seeing the Farallons in my rearview mirror.
No, I bet. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
No, you're
thank
welcome.
you. Thanks for the work you're doing too.
Well,
thank you.
I
Okay, that's
that,
good. Thank you. That's good. Hey,
hand.
thank you. Okay, well. Okay, we're at the Sacramento Boat Show, and we're talking to John Kalapana, and he is has a magazine, fishing magazine called The Fish Sniffer.
Right.
So, John, tell us about your background, how you got involved with fishing, and also with the magazine.
Well, I've been an avid fisherman since I was a kid. My mom and dad both fished. I don't eat fish, and I started seeing the prize money they were giving away in bass tournaments. So I've basically changed my focus to that. But I fish for steelhead salmon when the bass aren't running tournaments. The Fish Sniffer sponsors me, so one of my obligations is to work the booth. Plus, it's a great fishing publication. I've been a member of the Fish Sniffer well over 20 years prior to being sponsored by them. Awesome. So I sponsor and support people that sponsor and support me.
Awesome.
And we work great together. It's a great publication. We tell you what's biting in California, Oregon, and Nevada.
Awesome.
So it's a win-win with our paper. Plus, if you sign up for memberships, we hand out free goodies, free rods. We make it worth your while.
Awesome. What is your most memorable fishing experience?
I caught a 45-pound salmon on 12-pound test in a black bass flipping rod, and it tail walked about 40 feet across the water.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, fantastic. It was, I'll never forget the feeling. It was stripping line off my line, and the line was literally going bing, bing, bing. I could hear it, and that was unforgettable.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. We're here at the Sacramento Boat Show talking to Paulneyland, and he's one of the owners of the Fish Sniffer.
Yes.
And he's going to tell us about how the Fish Sniffer started, the magazine.
Well, everybody, when they first hear the name Fish Sniffer, they go, "What is that? That's a funny name."
Yeah.
Well, how it started is Hal Bonslet started the newspaper in 1982.
Wow.
And he had a little Welsh Corgi dog that loved to go fishing with him.
Yeah.
And anytime he caught a fish, she'd go up to the fish, but she wouldn't bark at it or lick it. She just wanted to smell it. And that was the original Fish Sniffer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. How long have you been fishing?
Have I been fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, about 54 years.
Oh, that's long enough. That's like
I've been with the Fish Sniffer for 27 now. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what is a Fish Sniffer? Tell us about
the Fish Sniffer. Is the fisherman's newspaper and website for Northern California.
Okay, cool.
Comes out every 2 weeks, all freshwater and saltwater fishing news from Northern California, from the ocean to the high mountains and everything in between.
Awesome, cool. What is your most memorable fishing experience?
My most memorable fishing experience?
You probably have hundreds. Huh?
I do. Fishing a small stream up by Mount Lassen, where I've always catch a whole bunch of little teeny trout, and I caught a 22-inch German brown on a fly rod.
Oh, that
the
is
only big
memorable.
fish I've ever seen in there.
That is memorable. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You betcha.
Thank you.
No problem.
We're at the Sacramento Boat Show talking to Fred at Driven, and he has products to maintain the outside appearance of your boat. Fred, tell us about your products and
when the boat
boats.
is relatively new, I feel that's the most important time to take care of it, because basically what you want to do on these exterior surfaces, you want to fill the pores. You want it so things won't stick to it or stain it.
Okay.
So what we've done is we've pioneered a polymer polish. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It'll work on your fiberglass, all your metal, any type of windows, including isinglass, Lexan, plexiglass, any type of painted surface, including automotive clear coat, urethanes, even the linear polyurethanes with these bigger yachts.
Okay.
So you always put a good coat of the polish on it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great polish. We use it on our motorhome and our boat.
Huh?
So yeah, it's great. But a lot of the boats in the area we fish are metal, aluminum boats.
Yes. We can also use the polish for that, but sometimes metal boats, and they've been in the water for a little while, need to be compounded.
Exactly.
Rub them out.
Yes.
It's a micro-abrasive, a glazing compound. It's not the old-style rubbing compound. It's not gritty.
Okay.
It's real fine and real sharp, so it's going to be able to work with this, not only on raw aluminum, but painted aluminum also. So you can do it by hand application, or if you want to get more serious about it, do a really effective job, work with a machine, either with a rotary buffer or a dual-action buffer.
Okay.
And we do like wool pads, the lamb's wool type pad to buff the boat out.
Okay.
Once you buff the boat out, then afterwards you seal it with that polymer polish.
Okay, so wash it first though?
You do want to wash and dry a boat first. The reason being you want to wash a boat is because you don't want to rub any type of loose dirt or sand or grain in the boat.
Yeah.
And then over the course of time, it's always good to wash it with a good wash too.
Okay.
I never ever use on boats things like dish soap, laundry soap, shampoo, household cleaners like Simple Green, Lime Away. What that does, it strips the protection off the boat. It doesn't matter if it's a wax or a polymer, it's going to interfere with what's on the boat. So always use a good quality wash.
Oh,
and we have a polymer wash where you put 1 capful per gallon. It takes the dirt, the grime, the salt, the residue off the boat, but it won't strip it. It actually adds protection every time you wash it down.
Oh, good. Okay, good, good. How'd you get started in this?
I've been doing this for about 30 years now. Been selling products at boat shows for a long, long time when I started, different types of products. And then about 10 years ago, I decided to form my own line and work with chemists around the world, and we pioneered this line of products, and we really feel it's the best going out there right now. Well, it's really user-friendly because it's a concise line. We're not throwing 100 products at you. It's a very concise line where it's simple. You rub out the boat, you polish it, you wash the boat. We've got a quick spray to wipe it down when you come out of the water, and then things that take care of the inside of the boat as well as the glass also. Very simple line of products.
Right. Yeah, it's a great product. That's it for this episode. I want to thank all our guests. Remember, keep fishing. Fish is good, both catching and eating. See you next time. Over and out.